my channel. Welcome to the chaos. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button like you're swatting a fly and share this video like it's the last slice of pizza. And hey, don't be shy. Drop your location in the comments. I read them all, even the weird ones. Let's roll. It was an ordinary Friday night, and Janice was getting ready for yet another outing with her usual circle of friends. These get-togethers had become standard ever since we got engaged. Same crowd, same routine. Danielle, Ava, and Maya, tipsy from their wine, already filling the evening with their usual brand of chaos. I never complained. These nights gave me breathing room, time to catch up on overdue tasks or just relax with a movie. That evening, I stayed in, half-focused on a documentary with my laptop resting on my legs, casually scrolling through Instagram. I wasn't searching for anything, just filling the silence. Then I noticed a notification. Danielle had gone live. The title read, "Girls' Night Mayhem." I hesitated. Normally, I would have ignored it, but the timing made me curious. Her profile picture featured her grinning behind a wine glass. Typical. I could already imagine the noise in that living room. Out of idle interest more than anything, I tapped to watch. The feed opened to exactly what I expected. The group crowded into a cozy living room. Janice was in the center of it all, nestled into the couch, a nearly empty wine glass in hand. Her hair was pulled up, her posture loose, her laughter filling the space. Danielle held the camera, speaking with exaggerated flair like a late-night host. Ava danced in the background, and Maya shouted playfully above the din. It all seemed harmless, just friends venting and unwinding. They chatted about wedding plans, which had lately started to feel more like a logistical nightmare than a celebration. Venue problems, guest list drama, delays with her dress. Then Danielle turned the phone toward Janice and, wearing a teasing grin, asked, "So how's Mr. Perfect handling all this brilliance?" Janice rolled her eyes and laughed. "Larry? He's trying his best, bless him. Still thinks weddings are about calendars and checklists. He's totally out of his depth." Danielle burst out laughing. "He's like a golden retriever." Janice doubled over, laughing harder. "He's harmless," she said between gasps. "He means well, just has no clue how any of this works. I let him think he's in charge. It keeps the peace." I straightened up. My laptop stuttered and froze briefly. I hit refresh. The laughter didn't stop. Then she said it. "Honestly," she told the room, shrugging, "as long as he keeps paying and doesn't interfere, I've got nothing to complain about." And just like that, the air in my apartment turned heavy. I was witnessing it live. She didn't know I was watching. I should have exited the stream, closed the app, but I stayed. Danielle shifted the camera to a wider view. Janice had reclined, her legs stretched across the couch, cheeks flushed, maybe from wine, maybe from attention. Then Ava stepped into frame. "Be honest, are you still texting Jeremiah?" The name hit like a punch. Jeremiah, someone from Janice's past, one of those "it wasn't serious" stories she brushed off early in our relationship. I never questioned it again. Janice laughed and waved her hand dismissively. "Not while we're live," she slurred, still giggling. "You're gonna get me in trouble." Danielle cackled. "Only if Larry figures out Instagram." The room exploded with laughter. Janice raised her glass in mock tribute. "To men with six-figure salaries and no clue." Maya chimed in, "And may they never check our messages." Then Janice said the line that stopped me cold. "He's too wrapped up in feeling important to notice what's real." Danielle howled. "You mean while he's booking your honeymoon and you're texting Jeremiah?" Janice smirked. "Exactly. Let him plan the trip. I'll make my own memories." The whole room erupted. I didn't feel anger, not yet, just a deep, sinking stillness. My hand hovered over the screen. She believed it was all a joke, like it didn't matter because it was online. I opened the chat box and typed, "Am I?" The stream carried on a few more seconds before Danielle's face changed. She stared at the screen. Janice?" she said, turning the phone. "You might want to see this." Janice leaned forward, squinting. Her laughter vanished. Her smile faded. "Oh my God," she whispered, going pale. She lunged toward Danielle and tried to grab the phone. I typed one last message. "Engagement's done. Wedding's canceled. Say hi to Jeremiah." Then I exited the app. Suddenly the phone felt foreign in my hand, something I no longer recognized. I sat there for a few minutes, staring into space, then stood up and walked to the kitchen. I poured a glass of water, the only sound in the room now the memory of their laughter. On the table by the door sat the ring, platinum, custom designed, something we chose together. I picked it up and placed it next to her keys. The apartment felt hollow, the silence pressing in. About 40 minutes later, the doorbell rang, sharp and urgent. I answered it. Janice stood outside, mascara streaked, hair messy, still dressed from the night. Her mother, Cynthia, stood just behind her, arms crossed, expression hard. "Larry," Janice said quickly, stepping toward me. "Please, it wasn't what it looked like." I didn't move. It was exactly what it looked like. Cynthia pushed past her. "Young man," she snapped, "you humiliated my daughter in front of everyone. For what? A misunderstanding?" I turned my eyes back to Janice. "Was it a misunderstanding when you said I was just the one writing checks? Or when you raised a glass to me being clueless?" Janice shook her head, her voice trembling. "It was just stupid talk, just whine and nonsense. It didn't mean anything." "It meant enough to say it out loud," I replied. "You just didn't think I'd hear it." Cynthia interrupted again. "You can't end an engagement with a comment on a live stream." "Janice did," I said evenly. I confirmed it myself. Janice's hands shook as she wiped at her face. "Jeremiah doesn't matter, I promise. I haven't even seen him in months. It was meaningless. Just stupid texts. Nothing real. I didn't mean any of it." "I don't care if you kissed him or just sent him silly messages," I replied coldly. "You lied. You laughed about it. You showed everyone exactly who you are." She froze, wordless. I stepped aside and gestured toward the hallway. "Go pack your things. You have 10 minutes. Her face collapsed as if I'd hit her. "Larry, please." Cynthia's grip on Janice's wrist tightened. "We'll talk later," she cut in sharply. "And you're paying back your half of the venue deposit. Don't think you're not." I closed the door without another word. By the next morning, my phone was chaos. Over 30 missed calls, more than a dozen voicemails, and countless texts from unfamiliar numbers. Most were from Janice. A few came from Danielle, half apologies laced with insults. One simply read, "Can't believe you can't take a joke. Grow up." I didn't answer any of them. Instead, I called David Renshaw, my lawyer. Quiet, efficient, ruthless. We'd worked with him on a property deal the year before, and I trusted him completely. "I'll keep it brief," I told him. He didn't sound surprised. "You kept records?" he asked. "Yes," I confirmed. "Screenshots, full comments, everything." "Good. Don't delete a single thing. I'll handle the rest." The day became one long process of damage control, changing passwords, locking down every account, removing her name from anything tied to my finances. I shut down our joint bank account, canceled her card, and even updated the utilities. She'd barely contributed to them anyway, but I wanted no loose ends. That evening, I sent a polite email to her office manager, asking for confirmation of her supposed work trip. I already knew what the answer would be. The reply came almost instantly. "Janice has no travel scheduled in the next 2 months. So that sales retreat? Likely just a getaway with Jeremiah." I forwarded the email to David. His response was immediate. "Logged. Keep collecting evidence. If she tries to spin this, we'll be ready." Out of curiosity, I checked Janice's Instagram. Every photo of us was gone. No posts about our engagement, nothing about the wedding. But Danielle? She'd uploaded a new story, wine glasses clinking, captioned, "Some men just can't handle strong women." They still thought I was bluffing. They had no idea I was only getting started. A week later, I hosted what I called a post-engagement dinner. Nothing elaborate, just a calm evening at my place. I invited a few neutral friends, Liam, Taylor, not part of Janice's circle, and I invited Danielle too. I told her Janice wouldn't be there. She didn't ask why. Free dinner? She laughed. Sure, I'm in. They arrived around 7. I cooked, poured wine, kept the atmosphere warm and easy. Played that acoustic playlist Janice always loved, Little Deliberate Choices. Danielle was her usual loud, carefree self, laughing and sipping like nothing had happened. She didn't even notice the remote on the table or the paused live stream on the TV, frozen on Janice's face mid-toast. After dinner, just before dessert, I stood up. Thanks for coming tonight, I said. I know it's been an unusual week. Danielle smirked. That's one way to put it. I nodded. Before we finish up, I thought we could revisit last Friday, girls' night. Ring any bells? Her smile faltered. I picked up the remote, hit play. The recording filled the room. Janice's voice clear and laughing, her casual joke, her dig at my salary, and then her careless slip about Jeremiah. I didn't say a word. I just let it run. When it ended, Danielle spoke first. You recorded that? It was public, I replied. You streamed it yourselves, to hundreds. I was just watching like anyone else. Her mouth opened, then shut again. I turned off the TV. Janice and I are done, I said simply. The wedding's canceled. The venue's canceled. The ring is gone. And, Danielle, maybe Jeremiah can pay for your next bottle of wine. Liam exhaled sharply. Taylor just stared. Danielle pushed back her chair. You brought me here to embarrass me? No, I said calmly. You managed that all by yourself. I just made sure everyone saw it. She stormed out without another word. The quiet she left behind was better than dessert. By the next morning, everyone in our circle had heard. Danielle posted a moody black and white selfie with a caption about men afraid of honesty and weak men who can't handle real women. No names, but everyone knew who she meant. Janice, though, stayed silent online. Instead, she showed up in person. I was reviewing accounts when my assistant buzzed in. Larry, there's a woman in the lobby. Says it's urgent. I didn't even need to ask. I walked out, calm, and there she was, sitting on a bench, hair pulled back in a messy knot, eyes raw from crying. She stood as soon as she saw me. Larry, please, just 5 minutes. That's all I want. We can talk outside, no drama. You already made drama, I said coolly. Instagram, live stream, that was your show. Before she could reply, Mark, our head of security, stepped closer. Everything all right, Mr. Mitchell? I nodded at Janice. She's leaving. Mark didn't hesitate. Ma'am, I'll walk you out. Her voice cracked. Larry, I'm sorry. I was drunk. It was just stupid talk. You weren't drunk when you messaged Jeremiah, I cut in. Or when you mocked my salary. Or when you told people I was clueless. She took a step closer. You're not exactly flawless. I smirked slightly. Sure, but I never stood in front of an audience pretending to love you. That landed. She froze. Later that evening, her brother called. We'd always maintained a respectful rapport. She's falling apart, he said. Won't eat, barely sleeps. She should have thought about that before she went public, I said flatly. She's not herself right now. No, I corrected. She just didn't expect me to be watching. He said nothing. I don't hate her, I added. I just finally see her for who she really is. I figured the worst was behind me, especially after the drama she caused at work. I was wrong. The first sign came quietly. A fraud alert popped up in my email. Someone had tried to reset the credentials for my banking app. A few hours later, a charge appeared, $412, on a long-forgotten department store credit card we'd once shared. The purchase? Janus Luxury Skincare, a boutique we'd browsed together years back. I stared at the transaction, stunned I'd overlooked her name still being on the account. It had slipped through during my account lockdown. I called the issuer, flagged the purchase, and shut the account down. That's when the whispers started. Through Danielle, Janice began dropping quiet accusations. Nothing overt, just carefully placed suggestions. Rumors that I'd been overbearing, that I'd limited her self-expression, manipulated her financially. Corey, an old friend from college, messaged me. Dude, Danielle's saying you used to track Janice's location and control her spending. I actually laughed. Then I sent him a screenshot. A $2,000 transfer I'd made to Janice just a month prior, no strings attached, to support her wedding planning. I added a clip from her live stream, where she joked about how I let her do whatever she wanted. Corey never replied. A bit later, David, my lawyer, got in touch. "We're moving forward with a restraining order," he said. "She's crossed the line." I didn't argue. If she wanted to drag it into the mud, I wasn't going to keep playing clean. The court hearing was swift, cold, and unforgiving. Janice came dressed like she was mourning, hair-styled, pale blouse, no makeup except the mascara that eventually streaked. Danielle trailed behind, sitting in the back like this was her performance too, smug, as if she still believed she had the upper hand. David kept things direct and devastating. He played a 90-second clip from the live stream, Janice mocking me, calling me gullible, bragging about how she redirected the money we'd saved for the honeymoon. He submitted the fraud alert, phone records, screenshots of Danielle's posts and deletions, and the receipt showing Janice's name. Janice's attorney, Mr. Holloway, a tired-looking man, attempted to argue emotional distress, claimed she'd spiraled after public humiliation, that the breakup had pushed her beyond reason. Then Janice turned, her voice just loud enough to be heard. "Danielle, you told me he wouldn't actually go through with it." Danielle's eyes went wide. The judge didn't even blink. He'd heard all he needed. "Poor judgment," he said. "There are consequences. Mr. Mitchell has demonstrated repeated harassment, defamation, and misuse of financial accounts. The restraining order is granted. You are to stay at least 100 yards from Mr. Mitchell's residence and place of employment. No direct or indirect contact." He turned toward Danielle. "Any attempt to communicate through third parties will be treated as a violation. That includes you, Miss Warner." Danielle's confidence wilted. She opened her mouth, reconsidered, and fell silent. It was over. That same week, I cut the last remaining ties. Janice went quiet after the ruling. Word was she'd moved back in with her mother and left her job. Her name disappeared from social feeds. The silence was deep and overdue. A month later, I met Angela, a friend of Taylor's. We got coffee. She didn't know my past, didn't pry, just smiled when I said I preferred a quiet life. As we walked out of the cafe, a flash from that live stream returned, her laughter, a wine glass in hand. Janice thought I was oblivious. She was mistaken. She just never realized I was paying attention. And I always see things through